Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our August edition of our webinar series here at SoCast. It is time to revisit some of the New Year's resolutions we put out back in early 2021. Time is flying, and we hope you've all had a great summer. This is the mid-year resolutions to finish 2021 strong, and we want to get you inspired by new trend strategies and targets to end the year strong. We hope everybody has had some great vacation time, feeling well rested, got a nice suntan and glow on. And without further ado, we'll get right into our webinar. Thanks again for attending today. A little bit of housekeeping to just get things going as we normally do. We strongly encourage you to feel free to ask questions in the sidebar of the GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar platform that we use here. You can find that under questions. Again, just to set expectations, my colleague Shay is moderating those questions. She'll do her best to get to you in real time. We'll not be addressing those questions throughout the webinar, but we certainly will one-on-one get to you. And if we don't, for some reason, get to you during the course of today's webinar, we will definitely get you an answer shortly thereafter. So just give us a little bit of time in case we need to research something. You are welcome to provide all your thoughts and feedback at SoCast on Twitter. We love your feedback. We would love to hear some comments, good, bad, ugly. Please let us know. And you can also use the hashtag digital dollars. As always, I am your host, Eric Eisen. I head up sales and marketing here at SoCast. And again, loved hosting these webinars and glad all of you have made the time to attend today. Before we get into it, a little bit about SoCast. It is our mission here at SoCast to make digital growth easy for radio broadcasters. And we do help exactly those, just radio broadcasters. Our platform and our technology, our solutions are built exclusively for radio broadcasters to help them grow their digital audience in all of the digital channels your audience is looking for you today to find your streams and all of your online content. As well as we want to help you grow your digital revenue and turn digital into a revenue center to ensure it's not a cost center. And we do this with our integrated cloud-based content management and advertising platform built on one dashboard. So you have one solution, one partner, and one dashboard to help you with all of your website content management, your mobile apps, your digital advertising solutions, Alexa voice skills. We can help you with social relationship management. And of course, with our digital DNA and our expertise, our radio expertise, we can provide you with the consultation you need to thrive with the digital side of your business and transform your business into exactly that, a strong digital business as well. And we work with broadcasters of all shapes and sizes across the world, whether you're a single station, owner-operated kind of made-up station, or somewhere a larger enterprise group, or just somewhere in between. We can really help you. We're working with broadcasters of all shapes, sizes, levels of digital sophistication, whether you're just sort of starting to invest and figure out how digital can work to grow your business, or whether you've been doing it for a long time and want to take it to the next level. We have the tools and expertise you need. So, starting out with a little bit of inspiration, it really does take a combination of vision and action to really make all of your dreams come true. Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. And vision with action can change your world. So I really like this quote, a little bit of inspiration to get us started. Early in 2021, we did a webinar, and we're going to talk a little bit about some resolutions we made early in 2021, or at least proposed to our audience early in 2021 in a little bit more summary fashion. You can always go onto our website at www.socastdigital.com to find that original resolutions to crush 2021. If you want to watch that or get the content, you can find it there. But we discussed 4 resolutions to help you crush 2021 and crush in a good way. Finding the right digital partner, strengthening your digital presence, and really focusing on becoming an omni-channel content producer to reach your audience. Talked about some solutions and ideas and strategies to help you grow digital revenue, and some ideas, strategies, and tactics to help you win the battle for the local ears and eyes within your market. We're going to revisit those briefly, and then we hope you'll stay tuned for 3 more resolutions, if you will, and I'm using air quotes there on resolutions, to help you finish out 2021 strong and get into 2022 on the right foot. Hard to believe we're already talking about 2022, but we're already there. My daughter asked me when Christmas is, and I said Christmas is only approximately 120 days away, and I couldn't even believe that we're already talking that close. So time is flying. Resolution number 1 that we talked about early in 2021 and during the January webinar was finding the right digital partner. And we encourage you to ask yourself whether your team has the right tools that they need to thrive, whether they have something that will help them work remotely wherever they are, that they can access from any place they are, and whether everything was integrated, and whether you had a partner that was really innovative. Those were some of the core things that we encouraged you to go back to your teams, sit down and discuss. Do you truly have the control to control your own digital destiny and your content on your websites? Or are you working with multiple suppliers that complicate both the service and support and accounting, as well as, more importantly, if creating inefficiencies in publishing content across all of the digital channels? You also want to make sure that you have a partner that focuses on providing you with a stable and updated platform that is regularly updated with security and security patches and all of those. And you also want a partner that will help you manage all of your digital advertising, all built into one. And that effectively is what SoCast has built, and that should be your secret sauce as well, is having an integrated digital ecosystem where you bridge your programming with an integrated content management system that allows you to create, promote, publish, and share content across all of the digital channels. That's web, app, social, voice, having your streams all on all of your websites, etc., as well as having an advertising solution where your sales teams can make sure that they are assisting your organization in monetizing those platforms through selling both their owned and operated inventory, that is the display and video inventory on your websites and apps, etc., as well as expanding into selling digital advertising solutions such as targeted display, retargeting, geofencing, and all of those important elements to make sure that you can offer a comprehensive marketing solution to your advertising partners. And we recommended 7 benefits of an integrated SaaS solution. We came up with the idea that having one single dashboard to manage everything is a huge benefit and will allow you to cross-channel syndicate content. So rather than having to go into multiple platforms with multiple logins, you no longer with a single dashboard have to do that. And it will also allow you to have a uniform brand consistency across all of your different channels, web, app, social, etc., etc. A good platform like SoCast will also enable everyone to get involved in the organization and make sure that you are encouraging collaboration and input from everybody across your organization, whether it's a summer intern through the programming manager or even higher, and everybody in between. Another huge value point of having an integrated SaaS solution is that, and SaaS, by the way, stands for software as a service, meaning it's cloud-based, it can be accessed. You don't need to have servers on site or pay for servers. You want a solution that is sort of cloud-based. But again, getting back to the benefits, you want to make sure that you have all of your data in this day and age centralized, so you can see what's working and identify trends and gain audience intelligence, so you can provide them with the content that they expect and demand. Ultimately, a couple of other benefits are that you have a single partner. One throat to choke is the joke I always like to make, that you can go back, and that way you have one accounting partner meaning one bill every month. You have one service desk to support you across all of the digital spectrum. You don't have to rely on multiple logins, multiple partners, multiple invoices. Everything should be unified to make your life easy. By consolidating all of your supplier relationships with one partner, you will benefit hugely, ideally save some money. And of course, the last point is, if you have the ease and efficiency created by having a single integrated dashboard, ultimately, we believe you will make more money. When selecting a digital advertising or programmatic partner, there are a number of things that you should be thinking about, including pricing structure, whether that partner can get you into all of the digital advertising channels, from OTT or connected television, all the way through display inventory, social media inventory, and can they provide you with all of the different targeting tactics that you need to be able to offer to be competitive in your markets today. You also want to make sure that they have good fraud protection in their solutions, meaning that they are delivering good high value impressions rather than having click farms be able to click up the impressions just so you can take your advertisers' money. Because really the reality is that so many people are offering digital advertising solutions in your market, that if you don't provide them with good quality results and attribution, then you are likely going to lose them to one of your competitors. And you want to make sure that they're there to support you and train your sales team and offer you the tools you need. At SoCast, our solution provides you with the proposal builder. We provide you with a 6-module training program. You want to make sure, whether you select SoCast or another partner for your digital advertising solutions, that they are going to check all of these boxes to make sure that they are the proper partner. The second resolution we covered off early in 2021 was going omnichannel and changing your mindset to become an omnichannel content producer. Gone are the days where you are solely just an on-air medium. Your audience is now expecting to find you everywhere they want, when they want, wherever they are. So they should be able to find your stream on laptops, on desktops, on mobile phones, on smart speakers. You need to be in social media. You need to be wherever they are. And voice and smart speaker skills is obviously a big channel. By the end of 2022, a huge portion of all searches will be voice activated. Over 60% of households in the US will own a smart speaker or already do. And of course, mobile apps and mobile app consumption is higher than ever. More and more people are using mobile apps, less reliance on desktop, less reliance on tablets, etc. So you need to have a means to put your digital content out on these types of devices and be exactly where your audience is. The third resolution we talked about was really focusing on becoming hyper local to win the share of eyes and ears. And we recommended a number of ways that you could do that. We recommended, doing providing school closures, business closures, church closures across the board, event calendars, obituaries for your local communities, particularly in smaller communities. Making sure you're producing your own unique content, that you're active on social media, and that you can enable your audience to submit user-generated content, UGC content, into your websites and mobile apps. You can do things like classifieds, where you allow local submissions and have sponsorable categories. And you want to use this to also promote on air and in your social media, because it's a great traffic driver to drive people to your websites. The same is true for business closures, church closures, school closures, etc. Especially with the uncertainty of the pandemic. Hopefully we're coming through that, but with a little rise and a fourth wave potentially, we definitely believe that having these type of things, having this on your website, will make you that hyper local content hub for your audience. And that includes obituaries, which are a great local public service that you can provide. We know that with some of our partners, some of our most highly trafficked web pages on our small and medium-sized market stations are on the obituary pages. And of course, we've already touched on closures. This is also a great public service that you can do for your local community, and it will allow your sales team to go out and sell targeted sponsorship for these positions on your websites and apps. Business directories will encourage local businesses to have positions on your websites and apps. It will also help your sales teams do some lead generation, because if somebody does want to post on your business directory, and which you can break up into either just one giant business directory or by different business segments or categories, it is also great lead generation for your sales team to go and see if they want to do additional advertising solutions with you. So it's also a great means to promote shop local, which is very important in this day and age, considering the giant tech companies that are out there like Amazon. Resolution number 4 was to significantly grow your digital revenue. And we discussed about how radio is primed for a recovery. The great news is if you're reading, the trades such as Inside Radio, Radio Inc., RBR, etc., we are hearing that there is some great growth over the last quarter, that there are some companies that are coming back to their near pre-pandemic revenue levels, and that is great news. But there still is an amount of uncertainty, and broadcasters that have digital and diversified sales operations will likely perform better than those that aren't embracing digital as another revenue channel for your organizations. We at SoCast firmly believe, people who have attended our webinars, those of you out there who are on here, our partners and our potential partners, you have seen this before, and we definitely promote that. We believe it's multi-platform integrated campaigns that will drive revenue growth. And by integrated campaigns, we specifically mean selling advertising solutions that include the traditional spots, mentions, and tags that you've been selling for 100 years, and including a digital component. Combining those two are really going to remain the key to success for revenue growth for all of you out there, and we believe this firmly. And there is so much that you can sell. Ad extension is very critical, but it really takes embracing selling beyond radio. It takes examination of what owned and operated inventory you had, what digital ad extension or programmatic solutions can you sell, and also what digital services can you offer, such as web design and social media management for your advertising partner, because that can be pretty lucrative. So those are the 4 resolutions that we discussed early in 2021. Now we want to get into some of the resolutions we want you to embrace for the remainder of 2021 and into 2022. These are the mid-year resolutions. I know we're a little over half the year. We're sorry, we got busy during the summer, so we're almost 3/4 through the year. But for the remainder of 2021 and into 2022, resolution number 1 is owning your audience data. And quality first-party data is becoming more and more important. It is very important for you to start aggregating that data and taking advantage. And we'll talk about some of the ways you can do that in the remaining few resolutions or sections of this session. First-party data is the information you collect directly from your audience or customers, and it can include data such as behaviors, actions, interests, etc., that you can determine from your audience behaviors as they review and visit your websites or apps or social media. And while critical mass is beneficial, everyone can benefit regardless of the mass of data. Of course, the more data you have, the better it is, but even a little bit of data can be a strong barometer for some strategic direction and help out even the smallest of broadcasters. The value of collecting first-party data is it provides great insights for your sales team on your audience IQ. Who is your audience? You can use that first-party data to learn more about your audience and to sell your audience. And I don't mean selling your audience lists or database or anything like that, because we're not encouraging that, but to go to your advertisers and be able to give them hard metrics and data, that will certainly enable your sales team to help advertisers target specific demographic or psychographic information or populations of your audience. It will also help you with your online and digital programming, because you can personalize content and communications and develop a content strategy based on your listeners and their interests. It will help you identify and reproduce success. And what we mean by this is it will enable you to see what type of content, where on your website, what channels your audience is engaging with you in, so you know where to spend more of your time and what type of content to produce and share and promote in each channel. And you can ultimately use this data. Again, this is where a bit of critical mass comes in for retargeting. We'll talk a little bit about that, but retargeting is after someone views an advertisement on your website. For example, you can actually retarget them even if they go off onto another publisher's website. So your advertisers' ads can be seen on your website and across the World Wide Web to generate more impressions for them. And we recently did a webinar with some experts on the upcoming cookie deprecation and the conundrum that that's posing, because as some of the big tech companies start to make cookies more difficult to place, and these are things that a cookie is somewhere where people can either decline or accept that you are going to put a cookie on them, so you can effectively follow them around the internet and check out further behavior. The large tech companies such as Facebook and Google, etc., are going to start to deprecate this type of functionality. And having your own first-party data is going to be critical in combating that for digital ad extension. And if you haven't checked out our webinar from, I believe, a few weeks ago now, we had our very own Victor Giacomelli host that, and you can also access that at socastdigital.com, because there were some amazing insights in that. So where does your data come from as a radio broadcaster? Well, it comes from a huge variety of sources. It comes from your websites. It can come from fan clubs and memberships, social media, newsletters. It comes from content and promotions, and of course, your mobile apps as well. All of these are critical sources of data for you, and you can also use Google Analytics to dive deeper into this. And if you don't have Google Analytics set up and connected to your website and mobile apps, we highly recommend it. SOCAST's client success team can assist if you are one of our partners or if you're considering jumping on. Google Analytics is free. It is, once you get comfortable with it, extremely easy to use. And you can get a huge variety of insights on your audience behaviors, not just how many page views you're getting. Of course, that is sort of the table stakes that comes with it, but it can also provide you with great information on the demographics, psychographic interest, your geographic, where your audience is, and of course, some of their behaviors. What channels are they interacting with you? How long are they interacting? What is creating on some of your pages maybe a higher bounce rate meaning that they're only visiting one page on your website before leaving. These are all great analytics for you and your teams to look at, and great key performance indicators to start benchmarking how you are doing within digital. So Google Analytics is an amazing source of data. You also want a partner like SOCAST that may have an executive dashboard or a data dashboard built into the content management system. This should provide a more simplistic view of the Google Analytics and should also help you identify trends over time. Are you seeing increases or steady decreases month over month, quarter over quarter, year over year? And it should be very easy to access, and you should be reviewing these metrics on an ongoing and regular basis. Your membership database, if you have one, this would be your fan club, your elite listener club, your insiders clubs, are a great way to aggregate great first-party data on your P1s, because the people who are taking time to sign up for your contest or sign up for those elite listener insider clubs, those are going to be your best, most loyal listeners. They will be the people who are going to be of the highest value to your advertisers because they're constantly listening or engaging with your content on your website. And you should have within your content management system a membership database that you can look at and break down and segment, so you can send out different types of communications, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly newsletters with different types of content. It will also allow you to provide gated content, meaning exclusive content for your P1s. We feel that this is an invaluable tool for both for communicating with your audience, segmenting your audience, and for analyzing your audience. Other data tools that may be of value for you to keep in mind are Google Ad Manager, or formerly DFP, now Google Ad Manager. If you're not using Google Ad Manager, there are many ad servers out there that you may be using to evaluate the performance of your display and video advertisements on your websites and mobile apps. There's a wide variety of data that you can pull from those tools as well. Google Ad Manager, or DFP, is free as well, unless you're doing tens of millions of impressions, which the average broadcaster unfortunately is not. So it is generally a free service. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram all have their own built-in data as well, and those are a great source of more behavioral and psychographic tools. Your streaming provider should be able to give you insights on time spent listening, the channels people are coming in from. Of course, we have a built-in social relationship management tool, but if you're not using SoCast social relationship management tool, tools like Hootsuite or Sprout or Buffer also provide some good insights in social behaviors as well. And then there's some more advanced, for those groups out there that may be on the webinar today that are a little bit more advanced, things like Crux, which is a data management platform, or Quantcast are also very more advanced tools that you can look into as well. And I provided the websites for those so you get some insights into what they offer you. Some final data best practices for you. One of the things we found is that many broadcasters have silos between sales and programming. We encourage you to break down those and have regular meetings so everybody can benefit from the data, getting your sales team and programming team together to discuss what's working, to discuss how certain metrics can be positioned to advertisers for the benefit of sales, and vice versa, are really important. And making sure that you are meeting on digital and analyzing your data on an ongoing basis, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, worst case monthly meetings that are focused solely with a digital agenda, we strongly encourage. We also encourage you to purge and ensure you engage with that audience. Ask for updated opt-in info periodically. Make sure people want to be receiving the newsletters, the content you are pushing out to them. If they don't, respect that, because in this day and age, that can lead to problems and it can lead to some very dissatisfied listeners. And with so much audience choice out there, you don't want them leaving you. And make sure that if you do develop viral stories, that you replicate them. What are the most traffic news stories, using Google Analytics to determine, and start selling news stories to and sponsorship of those blogs and news stories to really help the sales team. And lastly, let the data drive your decisions for programming. And of course, not just the songs you're playing, that's a full other sort of science, but make sure that your digital content, your social media content, is driven by your audience behavior, and that you're pushing out content into the channels where your audience wants to hear them. Lastly, find your data scientist internally. You'll be surprised at who may be really good at assessing all of the data and who can really add value. Don't be afraid to talk to a few of your DJs and see if they have a knack for data as well. There are going to be many surprises. Could be a summer intern, could be somebody from the sales team, but really get everybody together to collaborate and really rally around digital and the data that you provide. Next, the next resolution that we wanted to talk about for mid-year is embrace your own digital assets. So for a long time, there was actually a great article by my friend Seth Resler yesterday in Inside Radio, and he talked, or not Inside Radio, just on his blog, and you know, he really talked about the difference between owning and renting your digital assets. Your rented digital assets are those that have sort of a middleman that can affect your station's ability to reach their audience. So that would be things like social media, obviously, like Facebook. And they are constantly tweaking their algorithms and impacting your engagement with your audience. So there is really not much you can do about it. You are really at the social media companies, you know, you are really at their mercy when it comes to making sure your content is being seen on social media. You do not own that content. Nevertheless, social media is a valuable tool for driving traffic to your website. But again, you are effectively, and again, I'm using air quotes here, renting that property. It is important that you are really in control and providing your audience with engaging websites, mobile apps, providing them with reasons to give you their first-party data. We just discussed ad nauseum, really, you know, the benefits of collecting that first-party data through contests and all of that. But really, you should be engaging with your listeners on rented platforms to drive them to your owned platforms. And those would be, again, your websites, your mobile apps, etc. You can do things, again, like fan and insiders clubs to collect first-party data. And again, we talked a little bit about gating some content, meaning people have to give you their email address and maybe their name at a minimum, maybe as well as some interests to get access to content or swag or front of the line announcements. They also will be the people that you can use to curate content such as newsletters or specific blogs, front of the line blogs or exclusive content. That is really a great benefit of having a fan club or insiders club. And of course, it offers your advertisers and your sales team the ability to get in front of your P1s sort of as an add-on, as a benefit to get in front of this loyal group. Technical difficulty. Contests are another great way. Using digital, get more value from contest, and using a contesting tool to allow listeners to enter contests via the websites or mobile apps, so you can collect that email information to drive web and social engagement. And the other benefit for your sales team using contests is if they are sponsored contests, you can use an opt-in for your advertisers. So the example I always come back to is if you have an advertiser that's giving away a barbecue as part of a spring drive, you can ask people during the entry form how often they barbecue, are they in the market for a new barbecue, and would they like to receive special promotions on barbecue from the sponsor. So you can provide some lead generation via the opt-ins for that advertiser. Our contesting tool has really been specifically designed to help you drive specific behaviors from your audience. So you can encourage people to sign up to drive traffic or enter a sweepstakes or visit or share a social link. This is a great tool set because this will help you drive specific actions for your sponsors and for your sponsors and advertisers based upon a specific action that you want to drive the audience to do. And contests that are themed around advertisers' requirements, again, including a marketing opt-in, are obviously great revenue drivers, great monetization tools. Sponsorship promotion through web, social, and terrestrial can be included. And you can have sponsorships that are made up of both cash and prizes to help really make it a lucrative contest. Another critical way to make sure that you are engaging your audience more is to really connect with your audience one-on-one and start digital conversations. This is very much like, encouraging call-ins. This is not a new thing into the station, except now you can use your digital properties. You can do things like on your website, you have a social or activity stream that you may want to have people contribute to, or add a comment in, or pull in social media comments right into your website. You can have, if you have a mobile app that enables in-app chat, meaning not SMS or text, but the ability for your audience or P1s to send in a song request or a comment about a comment or a song or anything like that. That is a really great tool. Ensuring that your blogs on your website have the ability for your audience to comment, and using those to create one-to-one interaction. And of course, social media, we still don't, even though we encourage you to start producing content on your owned properties and less on your rented properties, still in making sure that you are managing your social media audience is very, very critical. Activity stream conversations, like I said, are a great way on our platform. We encourage our partners to use this so people can send in a comment the DJ can actually respond. You can solicit your audience for conversation and bridge the on-air and online programming. So again, just a very easy example is making sure that you're doing an all request lunch hour and you're soliciting those requests through your website. You should be able to moderate these conversations. And this should also be, on our platform, you can have people sign in anonymously, or you can force them to sign in. If you are forcing them to sign into your membership database, this is a great way to aggregate first-party data. Using in-app chat, just getting more specific on what I laid out before, is again, having the ability for your audience to submit comments or requests through the mobile app. On the SoCast mobile app, they can submit a photo, a 30-second recording, which is also a great, a great way, or send in just a sort of text message. And this will also, if you encourage it with on-air sort of promotion, should drive app downloads. So this is a great tool for people to use who may have a new mobile app if you have that functionality. Again, we already discussed encouraging blog comments, but this is great for news, talk, and sports stations. We encourage you to moderate the comments where possible and engage comments when appropriate with kudos. If there are any complaints, certainly you want to do this. In this very highly charged political sort of environment that we are in both the United States and Canada, you want to make sure that you are moderating those conversations, that you are encouraging positive dialogue. But again, you can use this to build your audience database because you can force people to sign in before they leave a comment. And that way it makes it easier or less likely that people are going to, make derogatory comments or, because their name or face will show up. So you can certainly do that. But it's a great way to build your audience data as well. Push notifications with your app is another great way to create one-to-one conversations. And you can send push notifications both via mobile app, which is the most common, but if you have a good content management system, you can also send browser notifications through the desktop. So if they're sitting at their laptop or desktop, they can actually receive updates and new breaking news or sports scores or contest alerts or concert announcements, etc., on their browser when they're on their laptop or desktop. And the more relevant the notifications, the more it will drive traffic to your mobile apps and websites. Push notifications are a great way to drive traffic to a specific destination on your website and allow you to promote content or contests, breaking news, weather alerts, sports updates, make people aware of upcoming events, or on-demand podcasts that may have just dropped. These are great for your P1s, and we strongly encourage our partners to use push notifications to engage their audiences with relevant content wherever they are, and this is a great traffic driver and tool for you as well. The third resolution we want to discuss today is, again, extending beyond your radio brands and thinking of yourself as more of more than just the radio brand you are. We've strongly encouraged our partners and seen a lot of this lately with our partners, and we've had a lot of inquiries over the last, since the beginning of 2021, of people wanting to build what we call satellite brands. And what we mean by a satellite brand is a digital destination that provides themed content for targeted audience segments. So they're really sort of a property that delivers unique, local, and original content, different from what you would provide on your radio station. And it can be content by local influencers or your audience or your content producers. And the nice thing is for sales, because again, as you can see, we're always trying to tie the benefit between programming and your sales, your revenue channels. You want to be able to bridge the gap by being able to increase the volume of inventory you have. So if you have one radio station and one website, well, that's your limitation. But if you had another satellite brand that may be driving some traffic in the local market, it will give your sales team another digital property to sell, and it will give also the on-air teams some digital content to talk about and drive people to not just the website, but to another owned property that the radio organization owns. And you can promote these on social media and share information across the two digital properties. And again, it allows your audience and advertisers are looking for new ways, looking for things you can do to really expand your reach as local content producers within your markets. We're providing a couple of case in points. One great one is All Mom Does. This is our partner out of near Seattle, Washington. They discovered using their data research and their data IQ that they had a strong cohort of young mothers that were listening to their station, and they developed an All Mom Does website, which provided great local content by local bloggers and local influencers to talk about everything that young mothers need to know, from back to school plans to health and everything. And it allowed for their on-air team to be able to discuss some content on air, as well as have a different digital destination for that segment of the audience to go to. It also increased the volume of inventory, if you will, that the advertising team could go out and sell, because it allowed advertisers to target a very specific segment of the audience and allowed the sales team to promote this channel, if you will, as a great tool to reach that audience. So this was a great example. They also extended it into other content formats, such as on-demand content, such as podcasts, which is amazing. And this has been a very successful satellite brand for this group. Another good example is I-70 Sports. This is a very small market in mid-southern Illinois, and they used I-70 Sports to promote local varsity sports. It was a complement to the Vandalia radio site, and it covered a number of connected communities that had some competitive some competition between the communities, but it provided probably an underserved news segment within the area to where varsity and college and junior college sports was very popular within that area. It provided some great coverage of that that wasn't really getting a lot of coverage elsewhere. And again, they've done a great job monetizing it as a secondary digital property to complement Vandalia Radio, their Vandalia Radio site. So that's a great idea as well, particularly in smaller, more rural markets, or even with groups that are covering a number of communities across a region or state. Another good example was Bayshore Bridal, and this is an area north of Toronto, Canada, that does had done prior to the pandemic, a lot of destination weddings and things like that in a beautiful area. And they started to do a virtual, basically an ongoing bridal show using our platform to build Bayshore Bridal. And it provided great value to the local businesses seeking to connect with their target audience. And again, some of the interesting thing was because it is a destination wedding place, they were able to connect advertisers with potential buyers outside of the local listing area. So that was a great advantage of providing this type of website. And as you can see, just because they had a form on their website for local businesses to promote themselves, this is a great lead generation tool as well for your sales team. The last case in point, number 4, is the local news portal. And I think this is really important because we'll go back to the other slide in a minute, but with prints continue to decline, we really feel strongly that that is a big opportunity for our radio partners. That as newspaper circulation has continued to decline, really almost to death, particularly in the small and mid-sized markets, there is definitely a vacuum that's been created and demand for localized content. And that is really the opportunity radio has, is to become a local news portal. Great example is our friends at the Jim Pattison Broadcast Group have developed 13 different portals. This one, PA Now, for example, Prince Albert Now. So what they've done is they've effectively become the local community hub to provide online content in the form of news for their communities. And these are extremely well-trafficked sites. I will tell you that even though they are in small markets, they are highly, highly trafficked. And because of that, the sales teams are able to monetize them and really take advantage of them and turn them into revenue centers. It also is a great way to cross-promote radio brands and your online newspaper together, and really also capitalize on the benefit of breaking down, the silo with your programming teams to put out content in multiple locations. But this has been a highly successful endeavor from our partners at the Pattison Media Company organization. So when you're considering satellite brands, again, in order to determine what sort of content you should be putting out, I referenced early on with the All Mom Does, your audience IQ is critical. Understanding your audience, understanding some of the segments of your audience, the larger segments, in that case, younger mothers within the local community that are active listeners, P1s, and providing them with a secondary digital channel to be going really beyond just your radio station and providing them with a second digital channel for them to engage with in a meaningful way. Look at what trends are impacting your audiences and advertisers and the location. Again, the pandemic really opened up a lot of eyes. Knowing that people, for example, were going to be doing more staycations, that as people started to reopen up and get re-explore digital destinations for weddings and things like that, but there weren't any bridal shows. That was really smart by Bayshore Bridal to sort of do an online show. Look at the strengths and opportunities in your market and the state of local media, particularly print, within your local environment. And how can you add value for your ad partners? How can you get them more impressions in front of their target buyer? So providing that type of, providing a satellite brand focused around what some of your biggest advertisers may want to get in front of their target buyer, that is also another great driver for looking at what you should put out there. And lastly, make sure you're considering how you're going to cross promote and market these satellite brands in social, on your existing radio websites, on air, through your local businesses so they're driving traffic. And take advantage of local influencers and contributors, whether it's musicians or politicians or true influencers or local celebrities, etc. Those are very critical ways. And of course, use targeted advertising to make your audience aware of these type of satellite brands as a digital destination, very much like putting up billboards and putting out display ads for your own radio stations, considering doing it for some of your own satellite brands as well. So as always, I love doing these webinars, and let's wrap it up. Another little point of inspiration for you: a goal without a plan is just a wish. Make sure you're setting your goals. Make sure you have a plan to make those goals, those dreams come true. We're hoping that this webinar and this session, in conjunction with the one we did at the beginning of 2021, is going to help you establish some of those goals and some of those plans, some of the strategies and tactics you can put into place to help you have a strong finish to 2021 and go into 2022 as a transformed business that really embraces both traditional and digital together. Again, my name is Eric Eisen. You are welcome to reach out to me anytime to discuss digital, to discuss radio, to discuss the state of radio, to do a demo, to learn more about SoCast. You can reach me at eric@socastdigital.com. Feel free to book a demo with me anytime. My colleague Shay will be sending out a survey. Please take a moment to fill that out. We would love to get your feedback on this webinar and any of our webinars. We would love to know what you'd like to learn about and what you'd like to see. We want to make sure we're providing value to all of you out there because we really appreciate you making the time. We also have our next webinar coming up August 31st. So that's coming in just a couple weeks. Stay tuned for details. Invites will be going out for that in the next couple of days, and we'll hope to see you then before the long weekend, the Labor Day weekend. And as always, for everyone who was kind enough to attend today, there is a special offer. If you sign up with SoCast before September 30th, we will give you 33% off your first year of licensing for either web and or app. So please reach out to me, book a demo. We can talk more about how that offer would work, but we'd love to help you out, really grow your digital in every way, shape, and form. Thank you very much. Again, I'm Eric at socastdigital.com. We have all the tools you need to increase your digital engagement and revenue. Don't be afraid to reach out. Thanks again, everybody. Would love to see you again on the 31st. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Make it a great week, and we'll speak to you soon.